Bon Jovi. My other job is Phil X and the Drills, who is here all month. I mean, we're in the UK for 8 shows, and then we go to Europe for 8 shows. So that's why I'm here. And Jason and David and everybody who invited me to come out and do my thing, I appreciate it. I didn't even kick the water over. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna do another track, because this is all about guitar, right? My first time at the show, really cool, awesome. I'm gonna play this track, also from this record, and I'm gonna explain it first, and then I'm gonna give you an idea what was in my head. So, Van Halen 1, one of my most inspiring adventures in life, came out in 1978. That's a long time ago. It's like 42 years. So I wanted to commemorate my association with what that did to my life, because I'm an old guy. I saw Van Halen 4 times before Dave left. So that's going back to 1980. What? So it made me realize like how it changed my life. So anyways, there's a song, when you listen to the isolated tracks on YouTube and you listen to I'm the One, just guitar from top to bottom, it's a masterpiece. The feel, the licks, everything going on. Eddie was just on fire and 23 to boot. But, okay, I'm gonna do a song kind of like that, but a lot like that. And then I wanted to take the solo section that has numerous keys, and then, but instead of doing Eddie Van Halen licks, I did Phil X licks. And then what I want to do is I want to play the solo, and then I'll break it down, and I'll tell you where licks came from, because this is to introduce you. If you're a young guitar player, everybody steals from everybody. So it's all about disguising it. Like put a coat of paint on it and call it yours kind of thing. So this song's called Rock and Roll You All Night Long. I'm just gonna do the solo. And this kills my time right here. Oh, this is fun. Oh, here it is. I think I could have a little bit less of a loop, the track in here, just a tiny, tiny bit less. Thank you so much. So like I said, all Phil X licks. And I'll tell you, because when I was doing it, it felt like, I knew it wouldn't be like, oh, he's totally ripping off Van Halen, because obviously it has that I'm the One, Hot for Teacher kind of shuffle going on, the ZZ Top hyper boogie, and it just, it's the cold. This is when the guitar neck goes. So, to break it down, okay, so it starts in basic B, and I'm just kind of going. So, you know, kind of typical kind of blues licks with the double bend and stuff like that. And then I do this which basically comes from you're basically doing the pentatonic, but you're just going up 2 notes, back 1. not unique, but when you throw in the flat 5 and you get the chromaticism going on, that's when it kind of gives it that kind of thing. You kind of hear that instead of just doing a basic pentatonic scale, I'm going, so there's that chromatic, but it doesn't sound jazzy because it's not. That wasn't against you. Mister, you know more chords than I play all night. The next lick, it changes to the key of D. And I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know where it came from. I just started with, I like working with patterns. So the first pattern was you can tell that I look at the guitar like I'm looking at a photo. And I look at the neck. I don't go, that note doesn't work because it's not in the scale. I go, it works because it looks like my fingers are doing something right. So I'm going, and then I thought, well, where can I go from there? And then at first I went down like, and I thought, no, I want to go up. So each pattern got a little weirdo. I'm a weirdo. Each pattern got a little weirder as I went on. So it was like, wait, can't even do it slow. I was like, what's he trying to do? Something. That's it. You guys are so sweet. That's another lick that's kind of like just doing a little slide instead of going. The next key is E, and this introduces and I've done this lick before in the key of B on Sunny Days on the first Drills record. It sounds weird saying first record, but I love dissonance, so that's taking 2 semitones for me and playing them at the same time and make them rub. So when it's slow, it sounds like that kind of thing. So actually not very pleasant, slow. It sounds like 2 cats in a bag fighting. But fast, it's like, right? So the next lick, I'll give you the OG. Thanks, man. I wish I had like some pounds on me. I do. So this is where the OG thing comes in. I'm gonna give you where this next lick originated, so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. Like everybody steals or borrows or disguises, whatever you call it. So I always love the phrase that Eddie played. He goes, that kind of thing. He does it in I'm the One, he does it in You Really Got Me, and he does it somewhere else too. So, but I love the phrase, and I thought I don't want to do that, and I don't want to tap. So if I go, okay, but you're still kind of doing the same phrase, but then if you go, so I thought, okay, now I got it. Where do I go from there? So I go, so now I've taken a lot of the phrase, added a higher note, and changed the sequence. And that's my disguise. But just to give you guys an idea, you can really come away with your influences with your own style. We all have influences, there's all kinds of, I've talked to some of my favorite guitar players about our influences, and everybody's gotten something from someone. So it's kind of like a cool thing that happens in music, because basically every chord progression's been used and every melody has been written, and all that stuff as it goes. In the meantime, I'll keep going. That might be all the next licks. Oh no, this one. So I go shift from that key to F sharp, and it's just kind of like, oh wait, right. So I go. I come up with that? So when I was young, I heard Flight of the Bumblebee by Nino Betancourt and didn't know he was using a delay. So he's just going, and I'm like, fuck, how's he? So I started playing it without the delay, right? And then I thought, well, I don't want to do that, but if I go up, so that's where that like came from. And now you're going, fuck, that's, okay, what's next? And then, so the next one that's kind of like a diminished, almost like a, but how can I bluesify that for this song? So I go. So if I go down 3 notes, you get that diminished vibe, but if you do that, the blues lick, you get that. So, I hope nobody wants me to like fucking summarize or anything. My head will explode. So, and then that's how that goes. And then it goes back to the riff, and then there's one last lick that is that photo thing that I was talking about. There's a lick that, if I go, so that lick is just, it doesn't even matter what notes I'm playing, it just looks good. Because it's just one lick on the D and the G string, and then I take the exact same lick and raise it up to the G and the B string, which aren't even tuned in fourths. It's like a major third, and then you have the fourths again, so you get this crazy. So it has that its own distinct sound. So that's a lot of information, man. Now what does Felix think? I don't remember fucking shit. Okay, let me see where we're at. I don't know where we're at. So, does anybody have any questions about anything that I just did? See? Either I'm thorough, or your brain is mush.
You repeat it.
What? Which part? What's that? Is it about the guy in the there? No, you can't. No, I'm known for taking neck pickups out of guitars and putting little action figures in there. This is the Boy Wonder. I'm a bad person. I literally stole it from my son, who was 6 after Christmas. And he was like, 6. He's like, you know I'm gonna want that back, right? I go, yeah. But you can't have Wolverine, because Wolverine I had a long time ago. So, okay, I'm gonna do, wait, are you serious? No questions at all? Except for the time? Did I answer your question? Okay, good. Yes? Hardest technique I've ever learned? I think we should all challenge ourselves on a daily basis. And I used to do this thing where when I was 16 to 20 and practicing like 8 hours a day, or gigging and then doing 3 45-minute sets and then practicing until I fell asleep and then waking up and practicing until the next set. And then when I was doing that, I had this thing called conquer that lick is what I call it, where I would come up with the stupidest lick that I could and I wouldn't put the guitar down until I conquered it. And sometimes it would take 45 minutes and then sometimes it would take 6 hours. But personally I think our most challenging licks should be the ones that we come up with. Because the challenging lick that you're trying to learn from somebody else, you'll never play again. You can't record it on somebody's song. You can't use it without somebody going, hey man, that's a Petrucci lick. You can't, you want to get to the point where everything that you play in a live situation is yours. I mean, when you do covers, and then sometimes you do your own solo in the cover and stuff like that. But I just think, at the beginning, obviously, challenging yourself is more important, I think, than, it's the hours. Like, you meet people that have been playing for 6 years, and you're like, really? You've been playing for 6 years? Like, what did you practice? So I think opening your mind to, because I've met people that have played for 6 months and like, what? That's amazing, that's incredible. So there's stuff like, you know, you watch stuff on YouTube and you learn things from people and like, you know, when you do a pentatonic thing, and then everybody wants to learn more about the fretboard, right? So you do my fretboard lick is like taking all the boxes and then doing them up in different places on the neck. So it's like, but then when you get that, you want to make it so that it doesn't sound like an exercise. You want to make it sound like a lick. So you throw in a slide and like a different feel for the meter of the tempo of the actual lick. So I go. So you kind of do something like that. Now it sounds like a lick and not like an exercise. But there's, you know, a lot of guys are like, well, you can do that on 2 strings and 2 strings and 2 strings. And then you can take the blues pentatonic, like, and just keep going up the neck. But then it's still more of an exercise. I do stuff like Beating Around the Bush by AC/DC, like. So what happens if I take that and kind of use the same notes and go up the neck with that? So that would sound like that. That kind of thing. So then you're kind of making it more fun for yourself because everybody knows that practicing scales gets really boring and stuff. Any questions? What about my what? My peers. My contemporary? My peers? Currently? Not really. But it's... Because I'm fucking awesome. But, no, seriously, I feel like, I think when you get to a point like Steve Vai, or Nuno Betancourt, or Guthrie Govan, if you go, who's your favorite guitar player? And if they don't go, me, they're fucking lying. Because they can all play anything. So they choose to play the guitar the way they play the guitar. They choose the notes, they choose the patterns, they choose the rhythms, they choose all that stuff. So they play exactly how they want to play as a player. So I tried to explain that to a kid one time, but it came out terrible because they're like, who's your favorite guitar player? I'm like, me. Let me tell you why. But then they walk out of the room and you're like, no, you're not Dave. So it's one of those things. I think you get to a point where what happens now, which is really exciting to me, is my peers come up to me and say, I watch your videos all the time. I'm like, what? You really? And then it was one time somebody really famous, like Peter Frampton, dropping names, was like, hey, we've met. I'm like, no, we haven't. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure. I'm like, look, you're Peter Frampton. I remember meeting Peter Frampton. But let me go out on a limb and say, maybe you saw a video of me playing Les Paul on YouTube? And he goes, that's it. So, you know, when you have that kind of personality, people think that they've met you. It's like when you're in a diner in LA and you see an actor sitting, do I know that person or did I see him in a movie last week? So it's one of those space games. But it's funny, that lick, I do it in the key of B in Sunny Days, and I lost my pick. So I go, so I did that. So I was playing at the Roxy Theater in LA on Sunset, and Steve Lukather was at the gig. And he's standing in front of me, so you're kind of going, holy fuck, it's Steve Lukather, holy shit, man. Like, I'm a huge fan. But I noticed that he was like, standing there watching me play, and then he'd move in closer, and I took a solo. And that freaked me out even more. And then I'm on the sidewalk after the gigs, and he goes, hey, Bill, you did this lick where it sounds like it's going one way, but your hand's going the other way. And all I could say was like, you're Steve Lukather! What? So it's kind of like, it's a huge flattering compliment but it's also like we're all nerds. We want to know what everybody's doing, right? We're the new nerd, basically, except there's no revenge because we're always killing. So, anybody else? Yes.
You still play the bouzouki?
Occasionally. I have this really, I don't know, I should get over it, but my dad got me into bouzouki, and my dad, I mean, it's been 15 years now since he passed, but it's like, it's just, every time I pick it up, it's hard not to get emotional. So, because the songs are really beautiful, and they're really, the melodies and the chord progressions are really, like, they're very passionate people, obviously, but the music, just to me, is just spoke, and that's how I learned. My dad could go to a party with a bouzouki in his hand, and he could, he was like Elvis was in the building. He knew 500 songs from the 1940s. You gotta say 1940s now, right? And he'd start playing, and I noticed even when I was 5 or 6 years old that when he could make people cry with one song, and then make people laugh with another song. And that's what introduced me to major and minor, when you think about it, you know? So, that was a really long answer to your question. Sometimes I play bouzouki. Yes?
Phil, can you show us the string skipping thing you do with yourself out?
I can do it to a track right now. Hold on one second. Yeah, let's do it slow. So, it starts in B minor. So basically, it's like a minor, 3 notes in a minor sequence. So it goes to the 1, the 2 in the major, then the minor 3rd. And then I go to the 5th, and then the root again, the octave. Now this one's major. And then everything changed here, so it doesn't string skip anymore for this one. Wait, it does, but not this one. Back to the major string skip here. And it kind of continues like a... And this reach is stupid, but it's still minor again. That kind of thing. And basically, that's one of my favorite solos of all time because of the licks and the character of each guitar player coming through the track. But then they do that harmony thing, and I'm like, well, I don't have another guitar player to harmonize, so I'm gonna shred. It's like, why not, right? That's an equation that makes sense. So, I'll do the track. This is, I did something for Pensado Music Awards back in LA, and they wanted me to string a bunch of my favorite solos together. And this will be that. Okay, I think I remember. Count it. Let's come up.
So to go from a stadium in the UK to a gymkhana in Basingstoke, Phil's going to draw a winning raffle ticket. And if you've been in the raffle to win a guitar, this is what it is. If you, it's a guitar. Jason's forgotten it. It's a guitar. And you also win this bucket. But if you got it on Saturday but you're not here, we'll send it to you.
Hope you enjoyed that. Just
So
a
here we
little
go.
stream for you from the guitar show in Birmingham, and very much hoping I'll be able to get on later if I have a safe trip home. I've got to show you. Look who I'm with. I met my buddy Caz.
Rock on, baby.
It's amazing.
West Midlands, come on.
Green 136.
If you've got green 136, you're a lucky person. Okay, folks. I'll
Two fat
try and see you
ladies,
later.
9.
In the meantime, as always, take good
136.
care.
Anybody
Cheers,
know?
guys.
Oh, Ruined.